Are you ready?
How's it going, peeps? It's your boy Ozzy, and yes, I am uploading 2 videos in one day, kind of crazy, and yes, I know that intro is still a work in progress. For those of you who don't know, I've been getting copyrighted this whole time on my intro. I didn't even know it. Wasn't anything serious, just said, like, I can use it, but they take all the credit for the video and all that stuff, so that wasn't really cool. So I'm just editing these videos. I know I do 2 different ones, one for the Lions, one for the Pistons. Now, they're different. I want to keep them different, but at the same time, I got to find some good songs for them. They're work in progress, so stick with it. I just don't want to get rid of them right away. But before we start talking about the Pistons, about the topic I want to talk about the Pistons, we got another question coming in from Ethan Patrick, and he wants to know what I think the starting 5 will be for this year. So there's really 3 positions that are locked down already. You got Reggie Jackson at point guard, Blake Griffin, power forward, and Drummond at center. The shooting guard and the small forward spot are really up for grabs. There's 3 people fighting for those spots. You got Glenn Robinson III, Reggie Bullock, and Stanley Johnson. Now, all 3 of those guys are interchangeable. They can both play, or they all 3 can play those positions. So it's really just a fight right now in training camp and then these preseason games of determining who's going to start there. I have a feeling Reggie Bullock's going to be starting in at the 2 guard because he's one of the most efficient 3-point shooters in the NBA. They said like his 3-point percentage is better than Curry's, and he plays solid defense. It's really between Glenn Robinson and Stanley Johnson. I personally would like Glenn Robinson starting. He just spaces the floor out better for our starting lineup, and having him and Bullock spacing the floor out would be good for us offensively. And then he can pretty much run the offense through Stanley off the bench because he's not really a great 3-point shooter. He's a good slasher. But I think it also will just switch up on matchups. When we play like a LeBron, we'll put Stanley in there for a bigger body to put on LeBron. So I think they'll just tinker it. We have a lot of talent. We don't know how good these guys can be together yet. We have high expectations, but not as good as what we think. So without further ado, let's get into this video. So this coming Wednesday, the Detroit Pistons play the first preseason game against the OKC Thunder. And I'm taking all the biasm out of this video. I'm just going to call it straight how I see it. The starters for both teams will get at roughly 15 to 20 minutes. People like Westbrook and Paul George will probably get 15. I would only play Reggie Jackson about 10, and about Drummond and Blake would be about 15 to 20 in that mark there. Really, preseason is just seeing what the younger guys can do. So for the Pistons, I would imagine seeing a lot of Stanley Johnson, Henry Ellison, Kyrie Thomas, and Bruce Brown, Luke Kennard, all the young people that we have. And from OKC, I don't really know a whole bunch of their young people, but I would like to see them tinker with having Russell Westbrook and Dennis Schroeder playing the 1 and 2 together, because that's going to be a nasty combination where you go from having Westbrook coming in at point guard and you switch out to Schroeder, who's a quality starting point guard. So that's going to be good for them. I think through the preseason, they'll be playing on the floor a little bit at the same time, so that's going to be interesting to watch. Now, there's really no way to predict how these things are going to go. Who's going to win and stuff.
What? What the fuck?
But it should be a fun, entertaining game for both people who like to watch it. Whether you're an OKC fan or if you're a Detroit Pistons fan, it's a good time of year to finally see what your team can do. Detroit, I think, has got a lot more young people than OKC, but don't quote me to that. Again, I don't know all of OKC's roster. But you get your starters playing like the first 5 minutes, and then they'll sit out, and then you put your little guys, not little guys, but young guys in there. It should be fun. But, you want to make sure, and I can't label this enough, you put the minute restrictions on Reggie Jackson. You don't want him going out. Make this guy wear some goddamn high tops. Put an ankle brace on so he doesn't get hurt again. Because it's getting kind of ridiculous. I know a lot of you guys are losing your patience with Reggie Jackson, which I can see your point. But then again, when he's healthy, man, he is the top 15 guard in this league, and I'll fight for him all day long. But don't be surprised if he goes hurt and miss a few games here and there. I don't know if he'll have a serious injury like he had last season or not, but who knows? You can't really predict these things. For the Pistons, though, it's really good to see Blake Griffin healthy through the whole offseason. That should be good for him coming into the season. They said he put a lot of work in there and even expanded his game, which he's already expanded his game so much from when he first got in the league, so that's just kind of scary to think about. What's also scary to think about, if you're a Pistons fan, is watching Andre Drummond shooting threes. He shot 2 of 4 in their open scrimmage, and it looked good. He had one deep mid-range, but it looks good. He feels confident having that green light, and I'm glad Dwayne Casey gave him that green light. It's something Stan Van Gundy would have never done, and I'm glad we got a coach who believes in the guys and will motivate these guys to become better and just really give them a confidence boost. All these guys are buying into Dwayne Casey, and we haven't even played one single game yet. Everyone said everything. Everyone on this team has said something good about Dwayne Casey. Whether it's Blake Griffin being probably one of the oldest guys on the team, besides maybe Jose Calderon and Zaza Pachulia. But even those guys are saying good things. And then you go all the way down to the young people who are rookies. Bryce Brown and Kyrie Thomas both say great things about this guy. Everyone loves him. He's given everyone a chance to play. And it's going to pay off during the season when some of these older guys get worn down. He'll play the younger players, and they'll step right into the system and play well. It's going to be a fun time for the Pistons fans. For OKC, you have some high expectations after signing Paul George back. So you should have a little bit more chemistry with Westbrook and Paul George playing together. But the problem with that is really depth. I don't know how else to say it. You really got Schroeder coming in off the bench, and that's pretty much it. I don't know. You're going to have some of these guys step up for you. But you guys should have a good starting lineup there. I mean, Paul George is a great complimentary player for Russell Westbrook. You guys should have a good quality season. But rather than that, that's about it for the video. If you want to get featured in one of the comments I do in the beginning of the video, you can either leave a comment down on this video or follow me on Instagram and Twitter. You can DM me, comment on one of my posts, whatever you want to do. I'll get you in here. I love doing those questions. And if you can't find me on social media, check the description out. They are in the description, and I'll see you guys in the next one.